Hi everyone, it's Giles here. I've called this video, could the cure for depression cost as little as 50p? Which is a bit provocative, isn't it? But I read an article this morning that, that provoked me to do this. And it might be a bit ranty, this video, and it might be a bit sweary, so I apologise now for anybody of a nervous disposition. So I read this article, and it was about how there's like a whole load of over-prescribing of addictive and dangerous drugs. And one of the lines in this article said that 7.3 million adults in the UK are on long-term antidepressants. 7.3 million people. That's more than 1 in 6 people are on long-term antidepressants. And I just don't get that. I just how could that possibly be? How could that possibly just to me that doesn't make any sense at all, because generally speaking, at this time in our lives, in this time in history, it's as good as it's ever been. It's like life's pretty amazing. We've got everything that we need at our fingertips. I'm willing to bet, I'm generalizing here, but I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of those UK adults who are taking antidepressants have a roof over their head and food on their plate and access to the internet, and hopefully their kids are vaccinated so they're not dying of diseases that they don't need to. Life's it's pretty amazing, and yet 17% of the population on antidepressants just doesn't make any sense to me. We're these amazing creatures, amazing organisms that have evolved over millions of years to this point. We're peak human. We are walking, talking homeostasis. The word homeostasis is homeo, which is similar to, and stasis, which is standing still. So we're in total balance all the time. Our physiology is absolutely amazing. So if I look at a bright light, my pupils constrict and then they dilate again when the bright light's gone. I don't need to think about that, it just does it. Everything just comes back to a balance. If I run up a flight of stairs, my heartbeat will go faster, and my lungs, and I'll breathe faster as well. Again, it's just all under control. It all just happens. Life does that. The energy of life does that for me. I don't need to put any effort into it. And our body, if we cut ourselves, it's going to heal. If we break a bone, if we leave it alone, if we don't let the wounds get infected and stuff, it's gonna, we set a bone, we leave it alone, it mends itself. And our psychology is the same. We self-correct. It's like it's all part of this homeostatic thing, and yet we're all depressed. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why is that? And what the consequences, the cost of all these drugs, and all the lost productivity and everything. It's absolutely bonkers. So I was out with someone this morning, and we were talking about problems and issues and stuff, and I always look upstream, always, because the answer is always upstream. So the first thing that you learn as a doctor is, don't just treat the symptoms, find the cause. That's what upstream is. Find the cause of the symptoms, because until you take the cause away, until you tackle the cause, the symptoms are just going to keep on going, and you can treat the symptoms for as long as you like and they're still going to show up. So always go upstream to find the cause. So let's look then at depression, at what it is, what the cause of depression is, and see if we can figure this one out. So depression, what is depression? Well, if we're looking at this amazing homeostatic organism that we are, well then depression is a coping mechanism. Depression is a normal, natural response of the body. It's a coping mechanism. Now, what is it a coping mechanism to? Well, it's a coping mechanism to overstimulation, of our fight or flight response. So we have this fight or flight response that we've evolved over millions of years, and it serves very good purpose. But it's only supposed to be used for a very short period of time. Our fight or flight response is supposed to get us out of genuinely dangerous situations. And what's happened is that now our fight or flight response is constantly stimulated. If you constantly stimulate your fight or flight response, like for 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day, pretty much constantly, on and off, give or take, that's going to screw you up. That's going to have an effect. That's going to have an effect. And it's going to cause anxiety, and it's going to cause stress, and these feelings. And depression is the body's way of coping with them, because we're not built for it. We're not built to have this constantly going fight or flight response. So it's like a fuse. It's like a fuse that blows. Like the body goes, hang on a minute, I'm going to get things back to normal here. I'm going to, the part of the homeostasis, part of the balance. There's too much of this anxiety and stress. There's this overstimulation of the fight or flight response. So I'm going to put an end to it, and I'm going to shut the system down. And that's what depression is. Totally understandable, I'm not judging here. This is just the way it works. So let's go further upstream. Let's look at the cause of that stress and the cause of that anxiety. And I'm sure you've got plenty of ideas. You don't need to look very far at all, anywhere, for a lot of people to tell you the cause of their stress and anxiety. So it might be the news. I mean, I made the mistake of having my phone next to my bed again last night, and so it's the first thing I saw in the morning, and instead of leaving it in my office, I picked it up and I started reading, and so I found this news article, and we've all got ideas. So it might be the news, it might be our partner, it's our situation, it's our circumstance, it's work, it's stuff that's happened, it's something someone said to us. It's all these things all come together. Or it's our concerns about the future, or it's things that have happened in our past. All of these things are stressing us out. It seems like all of these things are stressing us out, but that's not the cause of our stress. That is not the cause of our stress, and it's not the cause of depression. If you go upstream, the cause of our stress and our anxiety is a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding, an innocent misunderstanding, because nobody's told us about the way that we work and the way that our psychology works. Everybody is doing their absolute best. You right now I'm doing my best with my level of understanding of how I work. You're doing your best with your level of understanding of how you work. Somebody who's on long-term antidepressants, they're absolutely doing their best with their level of understanding of how they work. And until that level of understanding changes, as we live in this misunderstanding of how we work, how our psychology works, then nothing changes. Totally understandable. It makes total sense that this is the reaction that we get and that we behave in the way that we do. But there's an instruction manual. And I've read it. In fact, there's many versions of this instruction manual. I've got a whole load of them here on the shelf next. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19. There's 19 different versions of the instruction manual of variations. I've got more on my iPad and Kindle. I've got more on audiobook, all explaining this misunderstanding. And it can all be distilled down into one little thing. And it's right here on my desk. I've got it in my hand right now. So in my hand is the cure for depression. In my hand is the answer to the misunderstanding, which is the cure for depression. I hold it in my hand. It's not got any drugs or chemicals in it at all. It doesn't cost very much. In fact, it costs exactly 50p. I'm going to show it to you. That is the cure for depression right there. Understanding this. Understanding this. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, I often give these to my clients. If you haven't seen one of these before, you might think that T and F means true or false. What's Giles saying? Toss a coin and everything will be all right. No, I'm not saying that at all. No, what the T and the F stand for is your felt experience. Your feelings come from your thoughts. Feelings and thoughts. Feelings and thoughts. If you feel something, you think it. If there's a thought, there's a feeling. This is the human experience. This is how it works. This is what all of these different versions of the instruction manual for life are saying. This is what it all boils down to, that we live in the feeling of thought moment to moment. We only ever get into trouble when we try and, so that's reality, thoughts and feelings. We only ever get into trouble when we try and split that, and we try and split this coin. No, I can't split this coin in half. That's not real. I can pretend I can split it in half, and if I were to pretend, then that would get me into trouble. That would set off my fight or flight response. Because if I pretend that the feeling component of this coin that is melded to the other side, which is thought, if I pretend that the feeling component lives somewhere else and I put it on something else, if I put it on the news article I've read, or I put it on what my partner said to me, or I put it on what my kid's just done, or I put it on how much money I've got or how much money I haven't got or stuff, or I put it on the past, or I try and put it on the future, then that's not real, and that's going to set off my fight or flight response. And that's the cause of depression further downstream. So how does this work, this thought feeling thing? Well, it works by, we've known for many, many years how the mind works, like in terms of perception. We don't perceive the world directly. So the stuff that's out there is out there, and it all comes in through our senses, through our eyes, through our ears. It's all like data. It all comes in, like me, for instance. You're watching this, you're watching me. I'm not here. I'm not in the room with you. I'm not here. You're watching the screen, and it's got some light dancing around on it, which are pixels. Okay, then that's all. That's the data that's coming in. It's coming in through your eyes, and you're hearing my voice in your ears. And then after that, then your brain is creating your reality. We don't experience the world directly, we experience it indirectly, which is why it gets tricked by things like illusions. It's doing its best, it's doing the best it can, creating our reality, but it makes mistakes. It's why, you can be walking down the street and you can see someone and then when they get a bit closer, it's not them. And it's not that you thought it might be them, it's that you actually saw them. Your brain created that picture of them, and it's like, oh, it's so-and-so, oh no, it's not. So it's, it can get tricked. Because it's indirect. We perceive the world indirectly. All of it here, all of it via thought. And if you think about the past, all that stuff that happened to you in the past, where is that now? In reality, where is that now? It's here. It's a thought that's happening now. And if you think about the future, and maybe the worries that you have about the future, where is the future? Where does it exist? It exists there, in thought, now this minute. And that's what you're feeling. It's impossible to feel anything else, because that's all that there is. Every single experience we've ever had in our lives, and we are ever going to have in our lives, is thought in the moment. And that's what we're feeling. And that's what's happening right all the way upstream. And that's the cause, like misunderstanding this, trying to separate this coin, trying to separate the two halves of this coin and make up a story about where that feeling is coming from, someone else, what's going on, what's happening at work, stuff like that, that's when we activate our fight or flight response. And it can stay activated all day long, and before too long, we trip the fuse. So that's where depression comes from. That's the cause behind depression. And it's the cure for it. And it costs 50p. You could even do it with 10p if you like. So you're going to be hearing more about this from me, because I'm about to start, like this evening, I start a course with the wonderful Dr. Bill Pettit. He was the first person I heard talking about this. I didn't get it at the time. I do now. Total sense. So I'm going to be deepening my own understanding and sharing it with you. So you're going to be hearing a lot. And it just, guys, it's just like there's hope, you know? There's a reason to be hopeful if you are on long-term antidepressants and you don't want to be. There's your hope. Look to this, like, please, I beg you, start looking to this. You know, get in touch with me. I'll help you. If you can't afford like a 6-month or a 3-month coaching package, I've started doing single sessions now. All right, get in touch. If you can't afford a single session, then get in touch anyway, and I'll recommend you a book, one of these versions of the instruction manual. And if you can't afford a book, then get yourself a 50p coin or even a 10p coin and write this on and just watch this video over and over again until it bloody well sinks in, because this is the answer. This is the answer. We're living in the feeling of thought, moment to moment. The end. So if anything in this has resonated with you, please share it. Please share it widely. Share it as widely as you can. If you know somebody who needs to see it, then share it with them, please. Please do this for them. Okay, and look in this direction. I'm sorry if I keep banging on about this, but I just want you guys to see this. I really do. I do it because I love you. All right? And I want you to see that you're okay. That you're okay. So go out there and be awesome. Be the awesome people that you are. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.